Ladies and gentlemen, hit subscribe to this channel right now. In a second, you will hear former President Donald Trump in a victory speech talking about Nikki Haley. Nikki Haley's down by around 30 points in South Carolina, her home state. She will be endorsing and dropping out after South Carolina before Super Tuesday. There's no point to doing that. Nikki Haley represents, and hit subscribe to this channel right now, ladies and gentlemen, to my super chat. I cannot do this without you. To my super chat, your support is greatly, greatly, greatly appreciated. Nikki Haley represents a Republican Party that no longer is in existence. So, this Republican Party is no longer in existence, ladies and gentlemen. Nobody wants never-ending military conflict. Okay, people do not want that, ladies and gentlemen. They don't want never-ending military conflict. Let's go ahead and so she's down 30 points. She's not going to become the nominee. And this is just an exercise in really malice. The man was a great president. We had record highs in household median income, record low in poverty. And so there's really no point in what Haley is doing. The Republican Party will never again get the Bush, Cheney, and Rumsfeld type of candidate. So hit subscribe. You'll hear Trump right now. Hit subscribe to this channel, to my super chat. Thank you so very, very much. Let's get started.
USA, 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 USA.
Well, I want to thank everybody. This is a fantastic state. This is a great, great state. You know, we won New Hampshire 3 times now. Three. We win it every time. We win the primary. We win the generals. We've won it, and it's a very, very special place to me. It's very important. If you remember, in 2016, we came here and we needed that win, and we won by 21 points, and it was great. And today, I have to tell you, it was very interesting because I said, wow, what a great victory. But then somebody ran up to the stage all dressed up nicely when it was at 7. But now I just walked up and it's at 14. But she ran up when it was 7. And, you know, we have to do what's good for our party. And she was up and I said, wow, she's doing like a speech like she won. She didn't win, she lost. And you know, last week we had a little bit of a problem, and if you remember, Ron was very upset because she ran up and she pretended she won Iowa. And I looked around, I said, didn't she come in 3rd? Yeah, she came in 3rd. And then I looked at the polls. She was talking about most winnability, who's going to win, and I had one put up. I don't know if you see it, but I have one put up. We've won almost every single poll in the last 3 months against crooked Joe Biden, almost every poll. And she doesn't win those polls. And she doesn't win those. This is not your typical victory speech, but...
So, ladies and gentlemen, you look, he's up over Nikki Haley by around 30 points. So that's pretty good. Okay, he's up by around 30 points, and you have a situation where there's just no point in Haley continuing. We had record low poverty with Trump. We had record highs in household median income. He was a great president. There's no the issues with Trump are purely media. Fabricated media hysteria and apoplectic coverage. How you judge a president is by foreign policy and economic policy. So if you look, we had the lowest poverty rate on record in 2019. This was before Democrats and media and bureaucrats pushed to shut down economic activity. One of the many miserably failed policies pushed by media and bureaucrats and Democrats. They shut down economic activity. Lillian, hello. They shut down economic activity a year later. Didn't have to do that. But we had record low poverty. That's why people vote for Trump. That's why Nikki Haley cannot compete with Trump. He was a great president. That's why he continues to defy the odds. I mean, it's unbelievable. But let's continue with Trump really quickly. We'll hear him speak. And then, I mean, look, record highs in household median income. We had record highs in household median income in 2019. There's no rebuttal to that. There's just simply no rebuttal. Then we had the Doha Agreement that Biden completely botched to remove Americans from never-ending military conflict. Now you have a foreign policy catastrophe in numerous regions of the world under Biden. I mean, why on earth would you vote for Biden if you have a functioning brain cell and you're looking at the world and foreign policy and economic policy? Why on earth would you vote for Biden if you had a great economy and a great foreign policy with Trump? Because the apoplectic and hysterical media coverage? Because Trump has been accused of everything under the sun? And none of it is true? Or, I mean, it's like his personality, he is who he is. But it's not like he didn't try to overthrow the country. Democrats created a new McCarthy era Red Scare. We learned Joseph McCarthy and, McCarthyism, very bad, not good. Accusing people of being disloyal. That's what they did with Trump all the time and everyone around him. They created this aura of, oh my God, the Kremlin notified us of yet again another Democratic Party corruption scandal. Every corrupt act, from Hunter's laptop to servers in President Obama's administration, was cloaked within this Red Scare McCarthy era tactic. Anyway, let's continue with former President Trump.
Let's not have somebody take a victory when she had a very bad night. She had a very bad night. And you have the now very unpopular governor of this state. This guy, he's got to be on something. I've never seen anybody with energy. He's like hopscotch. And I'm watching this guy, and 2 weeks ago he said, we're going to win in the landslide, we're going to win. About 3 days ago he started saying, well, we want to do well. That's a big difference. But I walked out just now, we're 14 points up, and I don't know what it's going to be. But when she was up here, it was like 6 or 7, and, with like 7% of the vote counted. Now, let me just tell you, we had an unbelievable week last week in Iowa. We set a record. It was the best in the history of the caucus, in the history. And I remember I sort of had the same feeling. I'm up and I'm watching, and I said, she's taking a victory lap. And we beat her so badly. But Ron beat her also. Ron came in second and he left. She came in third and she's still hanging around. The other thing, she only got 25% of the Republican votes. I don't know if you saw that. Tremendous numbers of independents came out because in this state, because you have a governor that doesn't frankly know what the hell he's doing, in this state, in the Republican primary, they accept Democrats to vote. In fact, I think they had 4,000 Democrats before October 6th. They already voted. Now, they're only voting because they want to make me look as bad as possible.
And so now you have DNC chair tells Haley that South Carolina Dems aren't bailing you out. Nikki Haley relies on Democratic votes. Okay, Democrats are voting for Nikki Haley because there's, if you can believe this, in the modern Democratic Party, George W. Bush is actually a popular individual, which makes no sense at all. If you are on the far left, Donald Trump should be one of your best friends. You should not be. If you're on the far left, why on earth would you vote for a Democratic Party? And I'm conservative on most things now, but I used to be on the far left. I don't understand. If you're on the far left, do you want never-ending military conflict? Because that's what you have with Biden. Usually you're anti-war. That's Trump. Usually you're focused on poverty rates. That's Trump. Trump, we had record low poverty. Okay? Record highs in household median income. Right here. Median income hit record high. This is CNN, National Archives. I mean, why on earth? So, I mean, Trump is a candidate for everyone. If you're conservative, he's for you. If you're on the far left, you should be voting for Trump, in my view. Unless it's just all about image and you don't want to lose your friends and all that. I mean, the far left doesn't watch my channel. They read my writing, interestingly enough, in the Huffington Post still. But it makes no sense. We had record low poverty with Trump. Okay? And you have a modern day Democratic Party that would rather have Nikki Haley because they would rather have Bush, Cheney, and Rumsfeld's endless wars. I don't get that. I don't understand that. I don't understand it. I don't get it. Why would you vote for Haley, who will drop out within weeks? I mean, South Carolina is a couple weeks from now. So she loses by 30 points in South Carolina. She'll endorse Trump. She worked for Trump. But hit subscribe. Let's continue.
Because if you remember, we won in 2016. And if you really remember, and if you want to play it straight, we also won in 2020. By more. And we did much better in 2020. No. But we can't let that happen. You know, you have to have people that speak up. I said, I can go up and I can say to everybody, oh, thank you for the victory. It's wonderful. Or I can go up and say, who the hell was the imposter that went up on the stage before and claimed a victory? She did very poorly, actually. She had to win. The governor said, she's going to win, she's going to win, she's going to win. Then she failed badly. Now I have here, if he promises to do it in a minute or less, but the only person more angry than, let's say me, but I don't get too angry, I get even. The only person, because he was there, and he did fantastically well, by the way, and then he endorsed me. And we don't have to talk about Tim Scott, who, by the way, just got engaged, we have to tell you. And that's more important than all of this stuff. But a man that got to know her very well is Vivek. I said, Vivek, go up and say a few words about it. He has to do it in 1 minute or less, and then we're going to just say, we had one hell of a night tonight. And one other thing, before Vivek comes, do you see that poll? We're going to put it up. We have beaten Biden. You could almost say, who can't? Who the hell can't? The man can't put two sentences together. He can't find the stairs off a stage. Who can't? But Vivek, 1 minute or less. Go do it, Vivek.
What we saw tonight is America first defeating America last. That's what we saw tonight. If you want America last, you can go to Joe Biden. You got another candidate still apparently in the Republican primary. Cut your Social Security to fork over more money to Ukraine so some kleptocrat can buy a bigger house. Go to... Okay. We got to say this. We got to say this right. What we see right now with her continuing in this race is the ugly underbelly of American politics, where the mega donors are trying to do one thing when we, the people, say another. And it's up to us, we the people, to at long last say, hell no. We, the people, create a government that is accountable to us. And we, the people, have said tonight, we want, again, as we did in Iowa, Donald J. Trump. And so you want to actually speak truth. That's the truth tonight. And the only thing they're rooting for is an ugly thing that we don't want to see happen. That's what these people are rooting for, is playing to say long enough so the Reid Hoffmans and the ugly Democratic George Soros Jr.'s who are funding the law
It all comes down to the economy. We had record low poverty. There is no reason to vote for Haley or Biden when you know that we had record low poverty in 2019. Where's the rebuttal to this? You can't say he wasn't a good president in terms of the economy. And then you can't say that he wasn't a good president in terms of peace deals. Okay? Whether or not it worked long term or, it was the right move to do in terms of, people can disagree with this summit. That's fine. At least he tried to do something historic. And he did achieve something that was historic. You're talking about a nuclear-armed country. And you're talking about now a world that doesn't have this. Biden cannot do this. He simply cannot do this. He can't do. Nikki Haley will never do this. Laughing, hello, thank you. My message will not essentially, I know, I agree. Thank you so much to my super chat. Thank you so much. I can't thank you enough. Laughing Trump, hello. Greatly appreciated. Greatly appreciated. To my super chat, I can't do this without you. Hit subscribe to this channel right now, ladies and gentlemen. If you're new to this channel, hit subscribe and be here in November of 2024. We're going to have a really beautiful, amazing, historic time on this channel and other, like-minded channels far greater, far larger than my own. But this is something like Laughing Trump, thank you. And to the super chat, thank you. This is something Biden and Haley cannot achieve. Okay? Yes, the man he's with has committed endless atrocities. We know this. Okay? But Trump knows that you have a nuclear-armed country in a region of the world that needs, like every other region, especially the regions that are imploding right now, needs peace, needs some kind of long-term deal, peace deal. That's what Trump tried to do. That's what Reagan and Gorbachev did. We don't have a Reagan and a Gorbachev now. We have a Trump, and then we have, Nikki Haley and Biden, who will never in a million years do something like this. Trump was the first president to act like Reagan. Or I should, you know what? You can look back at, even Bill Clinton tried peace deals. I mean, I'm trying to be as objective as possible. President Obama really did not. He won the Nobel Peace Prize, and then he destroyed Libya with a failed NATO intervention. What did he tell me? A lasting foreign policy achievement during Obama's tenure. Tell me a lasting foreign policy achievement during Biden's tenure. At least with Trump, you had the Abraham Accords in addition to the North Korean summit, in addition to the Doha Agreement. And then everything is completely imploding now with Biden. But we had, and I'll get back to Trump, we had record high in household median income. It's right here. Even CNN cannot deny. We had record highs in household median income. Median income hit record high in 2019. Guess who was president? Hit subscribe to this channel if you're new to this channel. Not many people are talking about this, and Trump himself should talk about this. If you have median income at record highs, and you have poverty at a record low in 2019, and then you also have Trump with historic peace deals, why on earth would you vote for Haley or Democrats? That's why even the Democrats are saying, we're not going to bail you out. That's the thing. The Democratic Party knows that in New Hampshire, they helped Nikki Haley. She's not going to have that luxury. If you're in South Carolina, and I know people from South Carolina, they're fantastic. South Carolina's a beautiful state. Okay, South Carolina is, everyone loves Trump. Even Democrats like Trump in South Carolina. There are Democrats that like Trump in South Carolina. It's very different. South Carolina obviously is different from California or New York. Everyone is more conservative, even the Democrats. So that's why there's no chance Haley has other than to try to be some kind of representative for the Bush, Cheney, and Rumsfeld people. But the Bush, Cheney, and Rumsfeld people would never have achieved something like this, or the Doha Agreement, or the Abraham Accords, or record low poverty. But let's continue. Hit subscribe to this channel right now, to my super chat. I cannot thank you enough as well. Hit subscribe.
Very nice. Wasn't that nice? So, this was a great evening, and I want to thank everybody in the audience, and I want to thank the people that are standing behind me. You know, I think we called it right. Immigration's a big deal, a very big deal. We have millions and millions of people flowing into our country illegally. And I'd like you to say a few words about the border and who's going to solve that problem and how quick are we going to do it, Tom? Go ahead, please. Because if you forget, you never recover from it, and you repeat, and we're not going to repeat. We're going to have the greatest election success. We're going to turn our country around. If you take a look throughout the history of our country, if you took the 10 worst presidents in the history of this not great country right now, it's a country in decline, it's a troubled country, it's a failing country, frankly. But if you took the 10 worst presidents and put them together, the 10 worst, absolutely 10 worst. I used to say 5. Remember, I'd say 5. Then I said, wait a minute, we can add another 5. They would not have done the damage that crooked Joe Biden has done to our wonderful country. They would not have done the damage. There's never been anything like it. And you say, are they stupid people? I don't think so, because nobody can cheat that well if they're stupid. Do they hate our country? They must hate our country, because there's no other reason that they can be doing the things they do. Take a look.
We have foreign policy nightmares that are taking place right now. We did not have Trump. Okay, we did not have the invasion in Europe with Trump. Number one, this is a fact. We did not have record highs in credit card debt. We did not have interest rates at 7 to 8% for mortgages. People cannot afford to buy a home. The mortgage payments are too expensive. We did not have all of these foreign policy nightmares. Right now, we're on the brink of a major war. Actually, numerous major conflicts, because Biden did not have a vision. Trump did. He wanted peace through strength, similar to Reagan, but he wanted, you had the Doha Agreement, the Abraham Accords, the North Korean summit. You had a vision. At least he tried to implement a vision, give people economic incentive, and then go after them in terms of tariffs. For example, Democrats said, oh my God, Trump's going after China with tariffs. But Biden kept those tariffs. Democrats also kept Trump tax cuts. And then they were complaining about the tax cuts. So Nikki Haley is already, the campaign is basically done. Her campaign is basically over. There's no point to voting for Nikki Haley or for Biden if you look at the world and the economy today, the U.S. economy and the world today, and then you compare it to 2019 under Trump, okay? And more people lost their lives from you-know-what in Biden's first year, so don't blame Trump for his last year. Okay, those were bureaucrats, who shall remain nameless, and bureaucrats and media that said shut down the economy. That wasn't Trump. Okay, he didn't want to shut down the U.S. economy. Democrats vehemently pushed to do that, and it was a terrible, terrible mistake. And then we followed the lead of the world's most populous country. And then we couldn't even get into the origins of you-know-what, because it would have benefited Trump. then the reality was, yes, it did emanate from a place other than the U.S. And still Democrats harp on truth and conspiratorial theories, and they're the ones who can't even accept truth. Where did it emanate from? And was Trump right? Yeah, he was. And then they accuse him of being a Kremlin operative. They created this new Red Scare, Cold War, McCarthy era nonsense. And that's the problem. Nikki Haley represents the old Republican Party. This Republican Party is a Trump populist Republican Party. Record lows in poverty, and unemployment was record low with Trump, and we had interest rates very low. You could buy a home at 3%, not 7 to 8%. Okay? And you had inflation that was less than 3%. Now inflation is it's actually increasing far more than 3%, and it's far more for rent and food and energy, but it's increasing despite interest rates being up close to 7 to 8%. So you have interest rates through the roof. That's why inflation, they say, is low. But anyway, hit subscribe to this channel right now. Let's continue with Trump. Why would you vote for anyone else when you had an amazing economy with Trump and an amazing foreign policy? It's a complete catastrophe within this country right now. We have rampant criminal crime. I mean, only Democrats would take a good idea, prison reform, and completely destroy it by removing bail for violent offenders. You want to remove bail for nonviolent, that's fine, but you can't make the distinction if you're Democrats? I don't get it. I don't understand. Trump signed prison reform legislation too. What a despot. Oh my God. Let's continue.
Taxes, they want to raise your taxes times 4. They want to let the Trump tax cuts, the biggest tax cuts in the history of our country, they want them to expire. Your taxes are going to go through the roof. You take a look at regulations. They're throwing regulations. You can't breathe. You can't even breathe with what they're doing. You take a look at our border. So bad. There's never been a border like this in the world. 4 years ago, we had the safest, best border in the United States. I built hundreds of miles of border wall. Reasons why already. Not big reasons. A little stuff that she doesn't want to talk about. But she will be under investigation within minutes. And so would Ron have been, but he decided to get out. He decided to get out. Now, Vivek, I don't think would be at all because he's perfect, right? And Tim Scott, I know would never. That's no chance. Hey, Tim, do you want to say something? Come on. I want him to say something.
Look, New Hampshire. The president said a double-digit win in New Hampshire, and you delivered a double-digit win for President Trump. But I'm going to invite you to my home state starting tomorrow, where this election is over. It is time for the Republican Party to coalesce around our nominee and the next president of the United States, Donald Trump. Let's get that party started tonight.
What a good guy. What a good man he is. But just remember,
we had record low poverty with Trump. Okay? We had record low poverty with Trump. What is there not to like about Trump? I don't get it. I don't understand. This is a fact. There's zero rebuttal to this. There's no rebuttal. Okay? There is just simply no rebuttal to this. And if you're new to this channel, hit subscribe right now. It is a fact that you can look at National Archives, Census, CNN, whatever you want. We hit record low poverty with Trump in 2019. People don't realize how important that is. Poverty rates directly correlate to crime, to homelessness. You can try to do what you could try to erase the Second Amendment tomorrow if you're Democrats, and the poverty rates would make that completely obsolete because crime and, homicides, they're all linked to poverty rates. Okay? They're all linked to poverty rates. Every social ill, every societal dilemma is linked to poverty rates. Okay? Places with the highest poverty rates have the highest crime, people losing their lives, young people losing their lives, so that's, and Democrats oftentimes preside over cities that have the highest poverty rates, or areas of cities that have or areas of states that have the highest poverty rates. And so we had record low poverty. This is a fact. You cannot even debate this. What is the rebuttal? And then you had record highs in household median income. People had more money in their pocket with Trump. Even CNN said that. Median income hit record high, and then we had a record low in poverty. And this is the National Archives. Incomes hit record high and poverty reach a record low. That's bolstered by the CNN article. So why on earth would you vote? Why on earth would you vote for anyone other than Trump? It makes no sense. It makes no sense at all. It makes no sense at all. Especially, could you imagine Biden in this photo? Could you imagine Biden or Haley in this photo? Or Vice President Harris? This is what Reagan would do. This is what President Obama should have done. He won the Nobel Peace Prize. You make an effort at a long-term, at détente between two countries that could be at war at any moment, God forbid. You make an effort. So he wanted to bring about détente, a long-term, lasting peace between North and South Korea. Trump tried. What has Biden done to try to create a long-term peace anywhere? The entire world is just there's catastrophe after catastrophe in every region of the world under Biden. We didn't have these problems with Trump. What, you don't like his tweets? You would trade Trump's personality. You don't like Trump's personality that much that you don't want record highs in household median income and a record low in poverty? That's how badly you dislike his personality? I don't think that's rational, but let's continue.
I did hear Nikki say, and now it's off to South Carolina. Well, I love South Carolina. I love it. But, she forgot one thing. Next week, it's Nevada. It's not South Carolina. We love South Carolina, but next week, it's Nevada. And I'm pleased to announce we just won Nevada. We just won 100%. Because all of them, they looked at it and they took polls, and I was polling at 95% to 4 or 5%, and they decided not to play in Nevada. So we just won Nevada. We have a man from Nevada here, Steve Wynn, wherever he may be, and John Paulson, the great John Paulson, made plenty of money in Nevada. Doesn't live there, but he makes a hell of a lot of money. He makes money everywhere he goes, actually. So money machine. Well, maybe we'll put you know what? Put him at Treasury. You want to make a little money? Let's put you. Anyways, good to have you guys. But we go to Nevada, and that's been won. So we pick up all of those delegates. And then we do go to South Carolina, where we've done really well, where I've done well. We have a great governor and lieutenant governor and great everything, because almost every one of them have endorsed me. 2 great senators, which is hard. I mean, did you ever think that she actually appointed you, Tim? And think of it, appointed, and you're the senator of his state, and she endorsed me. You must really hate her. No, it's a shame. It's a shame. Uh-oh.
I just love you.
No, that's why he's a great politician. That's why he's a great politician. So this is a great evening, and it is, we are going to Nevada for a little while. We're not going to have to do too much. We have a great team there, but it's a team that we can now send someplace else. They did a fantastic job, but and it's a fantastic place, really a fantastic place. But we'll be leaving there very quickly. We'll head out to South Carolina, where I think we're going to win easily. I think we're 50 points up, 5-0. 5-0, 50 points up on a person that was governor. That tells you something. But I felt I should do this because
again, the DNC chair in South Carolina said Dems aren't bailing Haley out. Hit subscribe if you're new to this channel. Hal, thank you so very, very much. Thank you, Sandro. Thank you. To my super chat, thank you so much. Hit subscribe right now if you're new to this channel. We're going to talk throughout this year about a whole lot of things, but Nikki Haley is only popular because Democrats in New Hampshire helped her tremendously. Richard, thank you. To my super chat, thank you. Hal, Richard, Jack, thank you so much. I have no idea why, if you are a Republican or even a Democrat, why you would vote for Nikki Haley. She would be investigated and indicted just like DeSantis would. Any Republican, anyone opposite a Democrat will be indicted. That's American politics now. Because you did have, criminal behavior with servers holding top secret intel illegally. President Obama, Secretary of State, it was not legal to have servers with top secret intel on them. You can't transfer the classified data legally. Okay? You don't need the head of the Federal Bureau of Investigation to say, well, no reasonable prosecutor. Okay? It's not legal. So Democrats get away with actual crimes. You have 50 intelligence officials stating that, well, you know what, Hunter's laptop was a plot by the Kremlin. Okay? That is an actual crime, bribery, graft, what took place with Biden. Trump is going to win every single one of the court cases because they're all being dismantled, especially in Georgia and in D.C. And in Florida, the judge isn't even giving the time of day to the special counsel because Trump was a president with the power to declassify. Let's continue. So he's right about that.
Because I find in life you can't let people get away with bullshit, okay? You can't. You just can't do that. And when I watched her in the fancy dress that probably wasn't so fancy come up, I said, what's she doing? We won. And she did the same thing last week, but he was much more angry about it than I was. I said, get up there and you let him know. We are going to win this. We have no choice. If we don't win, I think our country is finished. I do. I believe our country is finished. We have an opportunity to do something so amazing. And the good news and the reason we have such support, the best numbers I've ever had, the reason we have support is because they are so bad at what they're doing and so evil, and they're destroying our country. So I want to thank everybody for being here. I want to thank this group of people. We will never forget you. We will never forget. And I made a pledge. I made a pledge to your state that you have the highest energy costs in the country. In the first year, they're going to be reduced by 50% because we are going to drill, baby, drill. Drill, baby, drill. Inflation's going to come way down.
If you are focused on the environment, you're voting for Democrats because you're focused on the environment. What is the difference between drill, baby, drill and begging other countries for fossil fuels or for oil? Democrats beg other countries release strategic petroleum reserves, which is what Biden did, and hit subscribe to this channel if you're new to this channel right now. To read my writing, by the way, in The Hill, The Huffington Post, Salon, The Jerusalem Post, The Federalist, other publications, go to hagoodman.com. So if you're new to this channel, definitely hit subscribe, and please be here in November. Be here in November, ladies and gentlemen. We had 2,000 people thus far today in the live stream. Nikki Haley is going to drop out. South Carolina is her home state. She'll lose by 30 points, and maybe even more than 30 points, because there are no Democrats who are going to vote for Nikki Haley. It's not like New Hampshire. Now, you're not talking about a more like a liberal Northeast state. So you're not going to get support. Nikki Haley's not going to get support even in her home state that she needs to make it even respectable. You lose by 26 to 35 points. You should, you're only helping, and who knows, maybe the whole, this is all a charade and she's actually trying to help Trump. Because if you lose in your home state of South Carolina by 26 to 35 points or so, okay, the latest polls show 26 points. If you lose by 26 points to Trump, that just the man has been indicted with 91 criminal charges, and in the most hilarious turn of events, they're all dismantled. They're all being dismantled before our eyes. The Georgia case, there are allegations of misuse of federal funds, and then, of course, there's the affair. That case is completely dissolving. Then you have the D.C. case, and the Supreme Court didn't even want to give Jack Smith a ruling on immunity. They didn't get enough evidence that Trump had committed a crime because he didn't. It was a speech. And then the 14th Amendment challenge in Colorado will completely upend the D.C. charges against Trump. The Supreme Court is going to make sure that Trump is on every single ballot of this country. He didn't engage in a rebellion. You'd have to be pretty stupid to think that he did. An unarmed rebellion with people being peacefully let into the building, and you had a couple people already acquitted because they were actually let into the building by law enforcement. That is not a rebellion. These people are so ignorant of history, it's unbelievable. You'd have to be the biggest buffoon and imbecile to think that Trump tried to overthrow the United States government. And they said it so many times that now the Supreme Court is looking into it. Okay, but number one, it's a conservative Supreme Court. Number two, he obviously didn't engage in a rebellion. Number three, the authoritarians and totalitarians and despots are the ones who try to remove people from ballots. So there you go. There you go. And ask yourself, ladies and gentlemen, just the following question. Why would anyone vote for Biden? The reason is only because of image and, groupthink. It's okay. When I said I was voting for Trump, unfortunately, you lose friends, lifelong friends, because they disown you. But see, again, that makes no sense. You should put friendship and family above politics. But that's what people experience when they vote for Trump. It's unbelievable. It's like, excuse me, I want a great economy, which is what we had under Trump, and a great foreign policy, not the complete catastrophe we have now with Biden. Hal, thank you again. To my super chat, I can't thank you enough. Hal, thank you. To my super chat, thank you so very, very much. Thank you. Thank you, Hal. Greatly appreciated. So, that's the issue that we face. Let's continue.
But in the first year, your energy costs are going down by 50%. Thank you very much. We love you. Thank you very much.
USA! USA! USA!
It's interesting. Chanting USA is, for me, a beautiful thing. But do you think that would ever happen with anyone that, if Biden were to speak to the 3 or 4 people that he speaks to at a rally, You think they're chanting USA? Again, you don't have to chant. I get it. You don't have to yell out, USA #1. You don't have to do that. Well, that's fine. Nobody is obligated to chant USA, USA. But do you think that Biden speaks to his? Do you think the average Democratic Party donor or the average Democratic Party voter, if they were to go see Biden speak, to a raucous crowd of about 4 or 5 people, you think they're chanting USA? There's a reason that symbols of the United States of America are offensive to the far left. Okay? And again, if you're an atheist, that's great, no problem. I mean, Christopher Hitchens is one of the greatest inspirations to me. But don't replace your atheism with Democratic Party, MSNBC, and politics and liberal politics. So it's like a lot of Democrats vote. Issues like God and country, completely irrelevant to a lot of Democrats. I'm not saying that they must be relevant to everyone. I'm saying that Democrats are very willing to adhere to groupthink. So if you have a fabricated consensus of smart people and they say, shut down the economy tomorrow, the majority of Democrats will agree. If they said shut down the American economy tomorrow, it would be Trump and Trump Republicans and populist Republicans who would say no way. It would be Democrats who, because it's almost like a religion, would say, yes, we have to. It might not have worked the first time, but we have to do it this time. And they're the ones tearing down statues and renaming places and redefining words. And it's like this alternate universe that they want to implement before Trump gets into the Oval Office. Or I don't even know. It's like this alternate universe. You have objectively a worse economy under Biden, objectively a far worse, far more detrimental foreign policy. And then you have people like John Bolton, who was part of the Bush and Cheney and Rumsfeld administration, who sent Americans to never-ending military conflict without a clear definition of victory. And in hindsight, every rational person, Democrat, Republican, every normal, logical, rational person in this world, throughout the world, says, yeah, Bush, Cheney, and Rumsfeld engaged in reckless, counterproductive, failed interventions. And God bless the men and women of this country who fought and protected this country. And, we had people, traumatic brain injuries, and so many people suffered so much because of Bush, Cheney, and Rumsfeld's decision-making. And instead of simply looking back, John Bolton says, oh, Trump doesn't know anything about foreign policy and national security. It was the antithesis of national security what Bush, Cheney, and Rumsfeld did. They put Americans in harm's way for 20-plus years. And the world is less safe because of people like Bolton and Rumsfeld and Bush and Cheney. This is the old Republican Party. They want to continue making the world less safe. And it's like Democrats like Bush now. They like George W. Bush. The people who don't mind military conflict and wars, and these are the Democrats now. They only care about personality. They only care about Biden's personality. And actually, the main thing is they care about power. So they'll cloak they will disguise their quest for endless political power in, oh, Biden's a decent man and Trump is mean and all of that. But the reality is they only care about political power. And so that's why they'll say, oh, well, Trump tried to overthrow the government, when we know that people were let into a building by law enforcement. That is not a rebellion. So, I mean, it's kind of like you can say something, you can watch MSNBC all you like, but at the end of the day, the reality is he didn't try to overthrow the United States government. That didn't happen. That didn't happen. And even, let me tell you something. Let's just say that Trump is convicted. His poll numbers go up. If Trump is ever convicted, his poll numbers go up. Okay? That's the hilarious reality of American politics. His poll numbers go up because we had record low poverty. We had record low poverty in 2019. And, you know, we had .com, hello. We had record low poverty in 2019. And at the end of the day, people want a good economy. People want a good economy. They want a good economy. Okay? They want a good economy. They want a good foreign policy. They want something like, I mean, can you see Biden in this photo? Do you see Nikki Haley in this photo? Do you see President Obama in this photo? Can you imagine Nikki Haley embarking on an historic peace deal with North Korea? You could say, well, you know what? The man he was working with, has committed so many crimes, and I understand that, but he tried to develop a peace deal. At least he tried. That is a very good thing. Has Biden tried? Has Biden tried at all to create peace anywhere on the planet? I want to know. Has there been an example of Joe Biden trying to create peace through a deal anywhere on this planet? Where is the example of Democrats being proactive, trying to create some kind of peace deal? You can disparage this summit all you'd like, but at least Trump had a vision. He said, okay, this is a nuclear armed country continually trying to intimidate its neighbor and the world. So let's go ahead and try to do something. Then you have the deal. I mean, you could go on. Democrats had a deal with Tehran. Didn't work out. We're finding out that it was a terrible, terrible deal that President Obama and Biden pushed for. A terrible deal. And so you have this. I mean, the interesting thing here, Paul, hello.com, hello. The interesting thing here is that Haley could very well lose by over 30 points. Haley could very well lose by over 30 points. And when that happens, it's Trump populism, which is the most moral and just political ideology in the United States of America today. Not the endless military conflict of liberal Democrats and the high inflation of liberal Democrats. It's really funny because they say Trump, the populism is xenophobic. No, it's not at all. Trump offered Dreamers citizenship. It's right here. I have friends who are Dreamers. I want them to be citizens. Okay? You have here, Trump offered Dreamers citizenship. Here you go. Donald Trump, his brand of populism is not what they tell you. They're lying when they say that it's xenophobic. Trump offers Dreamers a path to citizenship. He offered Dreamers a path to citizenship. This is Reuters. I'm not making this up. Hit subscribe to this channel. If this is the first time, if you're new to this channel, it's the first time you heard of this, that Dreamers were offered citizenship by Trump, hit subscribe. Because I'm going to talk about things, we always talk about things on this channel that media never addresses. And I think that Trump should see, the thing is, he has policies that should be implemented, whether it's a wall or whether it's peace deals or whether it's tax cuts. These things help the country. What's taking place right now is that the country we are less influential on the world stage. We have a worse economy than we did with Trump. These are objective statements. We are obviously less influential on the world stage. Look what's taking place. Things taking place today did not take place under Trump. We didn't have an endless invasion in Europe where there's nuclear annihilation is the prospect. And then we didn't have the Middle East there were always issues, but not like we have with Biden. Not like we have with Biden. And then we didn't have an inflation and interest rates through the roof at 7+% interest rates. So you have a big problem in the country today, and it's only about Trump's personality. It's only about the sensibilities. So hit subscribe to this channel, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so very much. To my super chat, thank you so much. Greatly, greatly appreciated, everybody. We had 2,000 people on this live stream today. Pretty awesome. And ladies and gentlemen, I'll be here tonight at 10 p.m. Eastern. So be here tonight at 10 p.m. Eastern time for the live stream, ladies and gentlemen. 10 p.m. Eastern. I'll see you this evening. Thank you, everybody. God bless you all. Paul, everybodyhere.com. Everybody here, thank you so much. To my super chat, thank you. I'll see you tonight at 10 p.m. Eastern time.